May the light of heaven wrap around you right now, in this very moment, as you receive this sacred blessing. May the angels who watch over you draw close and whisper peace into your spirit. You are seen. You are loved. You are never forgotten. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. This is our only official channel. Please beware of copycat and pirated channels, and stay connected to the original source for authentic angel messages and true blessings. Before we begin, a heartfelt thank you to Louis, Patricia, and Teresa for sowing a seed for Soulmate through your Ko-Fi super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with Soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you every step of your journey. Thank you for your beautiful support. Before you scroll past this message, stop. Just for a moment, stop. Because what you are about to read is not something that found you by accident. Heaven does not work that way. You were guided here by forces greater than chance, greater than coincidence, greater than anything your human mind can fully explain right now. And if you feel a tingling in your chest, a sudden warmth, a gentle stirring deep inside your soul, that is your spirit already recognizing what is coming. Stay. Read every word, because by the time you reach the end of this message, something inside you is going to shift forever. A secret has been kept long enough. A truth has been waiting in the shadows for exactly this moment. And heaven has chosen today, this very day, to let it finally breathe in the light. Your soulmate has been carrying something powerful, something sacred, something that belongs to you, and it is about to change everything. My beloved child, listen closely. What is about to be revealed to you has been held in divine silence for a reason. There is a person in this world, someone written into the very fabric of your story before you even took your first breath, and that person has been carrying a secret about you. Not a secret of betrayal, not a secret of darkness, but a secret so full of devotion, so overflowing with love and spiritual fire, that it could not be spoken until the right moment arrived. And heaven is declaring, right now, in this very second as these words reach your eyes, that the right moment has come. This person, your soulmate, your divinely appointed companion, has seen things in you that the rest of the world has never noticed. Long before you believed in your own strength, they already saw it glowing inside you. Long before you thought you were worth loving deeply, they were already carrying your name in their heart like something precious, like something they were terrified to lose, like something they would sacrifice everything else in this world to protect. The secret they have been holding is not small. It is vast. It stretches back further than either of you might realize. It is woven into late nights they spent in silence thinking of you, into quiet prayers they whispered when no one else was listening, into moments they stopped in the middle of their day because something reminded them of you and they had to pause just to feel it fully. That is the kind of secret we are talking about. The kind that takes up space inside a person's soul. The kind that is bigger than words. The kind that heaven itself had to be the keeper of until the time was just right. And the time is right now. You may have spent days, weeks, maybe even years wondering why certain connections in your life felt like they were being held just out of reach. You may have asked heaven, why does it feel like something is always about to happen but never quite does? You may have felt the nearness of something beautiful without being able to name it. That feeling was real. That sense of something waiting just beyond the veil of the ordinary was not your imagination. It was your soul detecting the presence of a truth that had not yet been permitted to arrive. But it has been permitted now. Heaven has opened the door. And what is walking through it is the revelation your heart has been quietly waiting for. Your soulmate saw your future before you did. This is the part of the secret that may shake you the most. In the quiet of their own spirit, in dreams so vivid they could not be dismissed as fantasy, in moments of deep silence where heaven sometimes speaks loudest, this person was shown visions of your life together. They saw themselves beside you in places neither of you has been yet. They felt what it would feel like to walk through life as your partner, as your companion, as the one chosen to stand next to you when the storms of life blew hardest. And instead of taking those visions lightly, they held them. They kept them. They protected them the way you protect the most fragile and precious thing you have ever been trusted with. They never told you, because how do you tell someone something like that? How do you look at the person your soul already belongs to and say, I have seen our future and it is more beautiful than you can imagine right now? How do you speak words that sound too big, too sacred, too impossible for ordinary conversation to hold? So they chose to wait, to pray, to trust that heaven would one day create the moment where the truth could finally be spoken. That moment is unfolding right now through these very words reaching your heart. My beloved child, this love that surrounds you is not the kind of love that flickers and fades with time or distance or silence. This is a love that was sealed in heaven before either of you was born into this world. And that is why nothing, not distance, not misunderstanding, not the long stretches of time when it felt like nothing was happening, nothing has been able to break the pull between you. You have felt it. You know exactly what we mean. That invisible thread that runs from you to this person even when they are nowhere near you. The way their name rises in your thoughts without warning. The way something about them makes you feel recognized in a way that nothing else in this world quite does. That thread is real. Heaven wove it, and heaven does not unravel its own work. There is something else this person has been carrying inside their secret, and it is this, a written record of their love for you. Somewhere in their world, in a place you have not yet seen, your name exists written by their hand. A letter they could not bring themselves to send. Words in a journal they locked away. A note pressed between the pages of something meaningful. Wherever they found a way to hold the truth of what they feel without speaking it out loud, they used it. And heaven says that one day, perhaps sooner than you think, you will come across one of these hidden pieces of their heart. And when you do, your own heart will recognize it immediately, the way you recognize a song you have always known even if you cannot remember where you first heard it. The secret is also about what they are willing to do for you, not what they might do, not what they are thinking about doing, what they are already prepared to sacrifice. The depth of their devotion runs so far down that they would choose to lose almost everything else in their life before they would choose to lose you. That level of commitment is rare in this world. It is the kind of love that most people only read about in stories and wonder if it is really possible. It is possible. It is real. And it is directed at you. Heaven has confirmed this. The angels who carry messages between souls have been witnessing this devotion for a long time now, and they are the ones who have asked that you be told the truth today. You have felt lonely. There are moments, maybe many of them, where you have sat in the quiet of your life and felt utterly alone, where you wondered if anyone truly saw you, truly understood you, truly cared whether you made it through the hard stretches. And in those moments, the enemy of your peace tried to convince you that you were forgotten. But that was never the truth. The truth is that this person, your soulmate, your destined companion, has been carrying you spiritually even in the moments their physical presence was far from you. Their spirit has stood behind you like a guardian. Their prayers have risen up on your behalf in moments you did not even know you needed prayer. You were never alone. You were simply in the waiting season before the revealing season. and the revealing season has now begun. Every prayer they sent up for you, every night they lay awake thinking of you, every moment they asked heaven to protect you and keep you and bring you through, those prayers did not dissolve into the air. They were collected. They became part of the divine framework guiding your life. They became some of the light you have been walking toward even when the path felt too dark to navigate. Heaven used their love as a lamp for your feet even before you knew who they were. And now that same love is about to be revealed in its full, undeniable, breathtaking form. My beloved child, you have carried your own silences too. You have felt things you couldn't explain, pulled toward someone without reason, thinking of them in the middle of the night, feeling their energy from across a distance, wondering if they were thinking of you too. They were, every single time. The connection you felt was never one-sided. It was always mutual, always reciprocal. Heaven built it that way because when two souls are truly destined for each other, they mirror each other's longing whether they realize it or not. Every time you thought of them, they were already thinking of you. Every time you wondered if you mattered to them, they were wondering the same thing about themselves. This is the beautiful, almost painful symmetry of destined love, and it is yours. Now here is what heaven wants you to understand about the timing of all of this. Nothing that has happened between you, including the silences, the delays, the moments that felt like steps backward, was wasted. Every single part of the journey was being used. The universe does not throw away experience, transforms it. The pain you carried taught you something about the depth of what you are capable of feeling. The waiting taught you something about faith. The confusion taught you something about patience. And all of it, every last difficult moment, was preparing you to receive what is coming without letting fear stop you from accepting it. Because heaven knows that sometimes the greatest gifts scare us when they arrive. They feel too good. They feel unreal. And we pull back right at the moment we should be opening our arms. Heaven is preparing you now so that you will not pull back, so that when the truth comes, and it is coming, you will be ready to receive it with an open heart and a steady spirit. Your soulmate has been fighting their own battles in silence. While you were going through your storms, they were going through theirs. While you were wondering about them, they were wondering about you. While you were praying, they were praying too. They have faced moments of darkness that they kept hidden from almost everyone, but they faced them while still holding you in their heart. They chose, again and again, not to let circumstances break the bond they felt to you, even when that bond had never been spoken out loud. Even when logic said it made no sense to keep holding on. Love this deep does not need logic. It runs on something higher than logic. It runs on heaven's certainty, and heaven was always certain about the two of you. In the nights when they felt most afraid, they whispered your name. Not because you could hear it, but because saying your name made them feel less alone. Made them feel connected to something real and good and worth fighting for. Those whispered prayers carried your name into heaven's throne room. And the answer to those prayers is what you are now beginning to experience. Shifts are coming. You may have already felt some of them beginning. A sense of something moving in the spiritual atmosphere around you. An unusual calm settling over your spirit even though your circumstances haven't changed yet. A sudden clarity about something you were confused about for a long time. These are signs. Heaven does not announce its movements with loud fanfare every time. Often the most significant divine shifts begin quietly, like a tide turning beneath the surface of the water before anyone on the shore can see it. But the turning has begun, and very soon, the results of that turning will be impossible to miss. Before we go deeper into today's message, if you feel guided by this energy, You can sow your seed for your soulmate's well-being and protection through the Ko-Fi link Super Thanks in the description or pinned comment. This is a simple way to support this divine mission and invite blessings for your soulmate journey, emotional healing, and overall well-being. Many believe that when you give with a pure heart, it returns as love, peace, happiness, and abundance in your life. There will be moments in the days ahead that feel like they could not possibly be coincidence. Unexpected messages arriving at just the right time. A name appearing repeatedly in places you wouldn't expect. Dreams that feel so real they stay with you long after you wake up. Numbers repeating before your eyes in a way that feels like someone is trying to get your attention. All of these are heaven's way of confirming what this message has already told you. The secret is on its way out of the dark and into the light of your life. Do not dismiss these signs. Do not let the rational voice in your head explain them away before your spirit gets a chance to receive them. Your soul knows things your mind hasn't caught up with yet. And right now your soul is already recognizing the vibration of truth that surrounds this message. That recognition is sacred. Honor it, my beloved child. There is something else about this secret that heaven wants you to know. It is not only about the love your soulmate feels. It is also about what their presence in your life is going to unlock. When two people who are truly destined for each other finally come together in truth and openness, heaven releases blessings that had been held in waiting. Abundance that was stacked up, ready to flow the moment the connection was established. Peace that passes understanding. Doors opening in areas of your life that had been stuck shut. Creative energy. Financial movement. Healing in places inside you that have felt broken for a long time. All of this is tied to the alignment that is coming. Because heaven does not just join two souls together for the sake of companionship alone. There is always a larger divine purpose, a greater plan, and your union is meant to activate things that neither of you could activate alone. That is part of the secret too. Your soulmate has been dreaming of a future where your pain no longer exists. They lie awake imagining what it would look like to watch your struggles turn into victories. To stand beside you when something that seemed impossible finally comes through. To be the person who gets to see you smile with the kind of joy that has nothing underneath it but pure peace. They want to be there for all of it. Not just the good days. Every day. And heaven says they are not only wanting this, they are preparing for it, moving toward it, taking quiet steps that you will one day look back on and realize were all leading to this moment. The secret they hold includes a vow they made to themselves, a private promise that they have never told another living person, a commitment that once they found a way to step into the truth, they would never take a single step backward. That the risk of speaking what is real would always be worth it compared to the agony of carrying it in silence forever. That vow is the foundation of what is coming. It is strong. It is unshakable. And heaven has held it safely in trust until this moment. There is something sacred about the way your soulmate has protected this secret, and heaven wants you to understand the full weight of what that protection means. In a world where people give their feelings away carelessly, where love is spoken too quickly and retracted too easily, this person did the opposite. They guarded what they felt for you the way you guard something irreplaceable. The way you guard something you know you could not recover if you lost it. They were afraid, yes, but the fear was never really about you. The fear was about the magnitude of what they were feeling. Because when love is this real, this vast, this spiritually rooted, it is terrifying to hold. You look at something that enormous inside your own chest and you think, what if I reach out with this and it gets taken away? What if I speak it and it disappears? So instead of risking the loss, they held it close. They kept it in the safest place they knew, and that place was the interior of their soul, where heaven itself stood guard over it. But here is what you need to know. You cannot keep something that big silent forever. Heaven does not allow it. Love of this depth and this divine origin has a momentum to it. It builds. It grows. It presses against the walls of silence until silence cannot hold it anymore. And your soulmate has reached that point. The walls are cracking. The truth is pushing its way through. And no amount of fear, no amount of holding back, is going to stop what heaven has already set in motion. They have been preparing, in the small, quiet ways that no one else would notice. Perhaps they have been thinking about what they would say and how they would say it. Perhaps they have been releasing old fears that used to feel permanent but have slowly, over time, been losing their grip. Perhaps they have been watching you from a careful distance and seeing in you a readiness, a softening, an openness that they did not see before. And perhaps heaven has been speaking to them too, in their own quiet moments, telling them what this message is telling you. That the time has come. That waiting has served its purpose. That the season of carrying this secret alone is ending and the season of living in the truth of it is beginning. My beloved child, this connection between you and your soulmate is not something that exists only on the emotional level. It runs deeper than emotion. It lives in the spiritual dimension of your lives. And spiritual connections operate by different rules than ordinary human relationships. They are not bound by geography or by time or by the limitations of human will. They move according to heaven's timing, which is always perfect even when it does not feel that way from inside the experience. Every moment you wondered why things weren't moving faster, heaven was working on the parts of the situation that neither of you could see. The roots were being deepened. The foundation was being strengthened. The ground was being prepared for something that was meant to last not just for a season but for a lifetime. And now the roots are deep enough. The foundation is strong enough. The ground is ready. Now let's talk about what happens when the secret finally reaches you. Because it will reach you. This is not a maybe. This is not a wish. This is a divine announcement. The question is not whether it will happen, but only when and how. And heaven says the how is already in motion. Your soulmate may reach out in a way that surprises you. Something unexpected. A message you weren't anticipating. A conversation that starts casually and then turns into something much deeper than either of you planned for it to become. An encounter that feels orchestrated because it is. Or perhaps you will be the one guided to take a step, drawn by something inside you that you can't fully explain, and that step will open a door that has been waiting for exactly that moment. However it comes, you will know it. There will be no confusion about whether this is the moment. Because heaven marks its own moments with a kind of clarity that the human heart can feel even when the mind is still catching up. You will feel it in your chest. A rightness, a recognition, a sense of something arriving that you have been expecting on a level deeper than conscious thought. And when that moment comes, beloved soul, do not let fear make you retreat. Before this message goes deeper into your heart, pause and check the channel name carefully. Some people are stealing and reposting our content, but copied messages do not carry the same positive spiritual energy. Stay connected to the original source, Angel's Message for You channel with the black logo base. And now, let your angels speak to you. Fear is the enemy of destiny. Fear is the voice that has talked many beautiful things out of existence before they ever had a chance to bloom. Fear says it's too good to be true. Fear says you don't deserve this. Fear says something will go wrong. Fear says you've been disappointed before, so why believe now? But heaven says something entirely different. Heaven says you were made for this love. You were made to receive it and to give it. You were not designed for perpetual longing and unfulfilled waiting. You were designed for fullness, and fullness is what is coming. Open your hands, child. Open your heart. Let what heaven is sending actually land without chasing it away with doubt. My beloved soul, your soulmate is not perfect. Neither are you. That is an important truth inside this message too. Because sometimes people build up the idea of destined love into something so flawless and ideal that when the real thing arrives, they almost reject it because it doesn't match the dream version they constructed in their mind. Real love, even divinely appointed love, exists between real people who carry real wounds and real imperfections and real histories. But what makes this connection different is not that it is perfect. What makes it different is that it is chosen, again and again, through imperfection, through difficulty, through misunderstanding. It is chosen because heaven wrote it that way, and what heaven writes, it also sustains. Your soulmate has made mistakes. They have moments they are not proud of. They have fears they haven't fully conquered and insecurities they are still working through. But none of that has diminished what they carry for you. Their love for you exists beyond their own limitations. It exists in a place inside them that even their own worst moments couldn't reach. And that, beloved child, is the truest definition of devotion. Heaven is not asking you to pretend this will be without challenges. Heaven is promising you that the foundation of this connection is strong enough to hold you through those challenges. That what is being built between you and this person is not made of fragile material. It is made of the same substance that holds the stars in place. And the same force that breathes life into all living things has breathed intention into this bond from the very beginning. Let's speak about the signs you are being called to pay attention to. In the days ahead, watch for the number patterns that appear before you. They are not random. They are messages from the angelic realm confirming that the message you receive today is alive and active in your life. Watch for dreams that carry a particular emotional weight, the kind you feel when you wake up and can't quite shake the feeling the dream left behind. Watch for moments of sudden peace that arrive out of nowhere, in the middle of situations that would normally feel stressful. These pockets of supernatural calm are heaven's way of telling you that you are protected and guided, and that everything is moving in the right direction even when you cannot see the whole picture. Watch for the people heaven places in your path. Sometimes the universe uses other people as messengers. A friend who says something that seems to speak directly to what you have been secretly thinking about. A stranger whose words land in your heart with unusual weight. A family member who brings up a topic at exactly the right time. Heaven moves through people too, and the ones who carry messages for you may not even know they are doing it. And beloved child, watch the way your own emotions shift without obvious cause. You may find yourself feeling inexplicably hopeful on a day when nothing in your circumstances has changed. You may feel a wave of warmth move through you in the middle of an ordinary task, as if someone somewhere is sending love in your direction. You may feel a pull toward a certain place, a certain thought, a certain direction that does not have a logical explanation. These are not accidents. These are the invisible currents of destiny moving beneath the surface of your visible life. They are the evidence of a spiritual reality that is already in motion even when the physical evidence has not yet caught up. Heaven speaks in the language of feeling just as much as it speaks in the language of events. And your spirit, if you let it, is fluent in both. There is also something heaven wants you to understand about the obstacles that have stood between you and this love. Every time something seemed to go wrong, every time a connection was interrupted or a conversation fell flat or a timing did not align the way you hoped, that was not a sign that this was not meant to be. It was the opposite. It was the divine process of removing what was not built to last so that what is built to last could finally take its rightful place. Heaven does not waste your time. Every apparent setback was actually a correction, a redirect, a gentle but firm hand guiding you away from something lesser and toward something greater. The delays were not punishments. The silence was not rejection. The confusion was not a sign that heaven forgot about you. All of it, every single piece of the complicated, sometimes painful, sometimes beautiful, sometimes bewildering journey you have been on, was being used for your good. Even the parts that broke your heart, even the parts you would not have chosen if you had been given a choice. Because heaven could see what you could not see from inside the experience. It could see the whole map while you were standing at one point on it trying to figure out which direction to take. And heaven guided you here, to this moment, to this message, to this truth. Your soulmate is ready. You are ready. The time is now. Not necessarily in physical proximity, though that may be true as well. But closer in the sense that the distance between where they are and where they need to be in your life is smaller than it has ever been before. The gap is narrowing. The thread is tightening. The pull between you is growing stronger with every single day, and you may already be feeling this as a kind of restlessness in your spirit. A sense that something is about to happen. That you are standing at the edge of something significant. That feeling is accurate. Honor it. And know this, beloved child. Every lonely night you ever spent wondering if love like this was real, heaven was counting those nights. Every tear that fell in the dark when you thought no one was watching, the angels were watching. Every prayer you sent up that felt like it disappeared into silence, it was received. And the answers to those prayers are being assembled right now into the miracle you are about to walk into. You deserve this, not because you have been perfect, not because you have never made mistakes or wandered or felt lost, but because heaven says you deserve it. And heaven's declarations carry more authority than any voice in this world, including the voice of your own doubt. My beloved child, as we move deeper into this message, heaven wants you to receive one more layer of truth. The secret your soulmate carries is not only about the past and the present. It is about the future, a specific kind of future, one where you no longer walk through your days feeling like something important is missing, one where the empty chair in your life is filled, one where you have a companion who truly knows you, the deep version of you that most people never get to see, and loves what they find there without hesitation. That future is real. It exists in the spiritual realm right now, already written, already sealed. And the events of the coming days are going to begin drawing it from the spiritual into the physical, from the invisible into the visible, from the hidden into the revealed. This is the nature of how heaven works. First, the promise is spoken. Then the signs appear. Then the preparation happens on both sides, in both hearts. And then the moment arrives. You are somewhere in that sequence right now. And based on what heaven is communicating through this message, you are not at the beginning. You are close to the moment. The changes you will see are going to be undeniable. Not subtle whispers of possibility. Real, tangible movement in your life, connections that shift, circumstances that rearrange themselves, doors opening that have been shut for so long you stopped looking at them, burdens lifting from your shoulders that you have been carrying so long you almost forgot they were there. All of this is the clearing that precedes the arrival of something great. Heaven clears the path before the blessing walks down it. And the clearing is already underway. Your soulmate has been doing their own internal work that you haven't seen. getting ready in ways that are invisible to the outside world but very visible to heaven, releasing old fears, letting go of old stories that told them they weren't worthy of love or weren't capable of giving it in the right way, stepping into a new version of themselves that is brave enough to be fully known. And as they have been doing that work on their side, you have been doing your own work on your side, even if you haven't thought of it in those terms. The growing you have done, the ground you have stood on through difficulty, the healing you have chosen even when it was painful, all of it has been preparation for this, for what is coming. Beloved soul, the message is almost complete, but before it ends, heaven wants to leave you with this. Do not let anyone talk you out of what your spirit knows. People around you may not understand this kind of love. They may not be able to see what you see or feel what you feel. That is okay. Not every blessing is meant to be understood by everyone. Some gifts from heaven are deeply personal, meant specifically for the soul that receives them. What is happening in your life right now is between you, your soulmate, and the divine power that has been orchestrating your story all along. It does not need anyone else's approval to be real. It does not need to make sense to outside eyes to be true. Trust your spirit. Trust the pull. Trust the knowing that settles inside you when you read words like these. That settling is not wishful thinking. It is recognition. Your soul recognizing something it has always known was true. The secret is unfolding. The silence is breaking. The truth is on its way to you. And when it arrives, and it will arrive, let it in. Fully. Without reservation. Without the armor of past hurt pulling you back from what you were always meant to receive. Because this is not like the times that disappointed you. This is different. This is destined. This is sealed by heaven, and heaven does not break its own seals. Your soulmate is ready. You are ready. The time is now. My beloved child, there is a place somewhere in your memory, maybe dim and distant, where you felt a connection so strong it almost frightened you. A moment where you looked at someone and felt the ground shift slightly beneath you, as if the world rearranged itself to accommodate the meeting. As if some deep part of you recognized this person from somewhere that existed before this lifetime, before this body, before this story you are currently living inside. That memory is not an accident. That moment was a glimpse, a small opening in the veil between what we can see and what is truly happening in the spiritual realm. And heaven has been working ever since that moment to bring both of you back together in fullness. The secret your soulmate carries includes that recognition too. They felt it. They have never been able to explain it to anyone. They have never even fully explained it to themselves. But they know that what they feel for you does not have a rational origin. Came from somewhere older than reason, deeper than logic, truer than anything that could be manufactured by circumstance or choice alone. It was placed in them, by design, for a purpose. And that purpose is beginning to manifest in your life right now. Let this message be the confirmation your spirit has been waiting for. You are loved, deeply, divinely, without condition. The universe has not forgotten you. The angels have not stopped watching over you. Your soulmate has not stopped carrying you in their heart. And heaven has not abandoned the story it started writing with your name at the center. The secret will be revealed. The silence will be broken. The love will be spoken. The destiny will be fulfilled. And when it is, you will look back at this moment and know with absolute certainty that this was the day heaven prepared your heart to receive everything you were always meant to have. Be at peace, beloved soul. Rest in the knowing. Let joy begin to rise inside you even before the physical proof arrives. Because faith that can celebrate before the evidence appears is the very faith that moves heaven to act on your behalf. The secret is yours. The love is yours. The destiny is yours. And nothing in this world or any other has the power to take it away from you. This is heaven's word over your life today. Receive it, carry it, believe it, and watch as the miracle walks through your door. One final truth before this message comes to its close, and it is perhaps the most important of all. Heaven wants you to know that what is coming is not something you have to earn. You do not have to become a better version of yourself before you are allowed to receive this love. You do not have to reach a certain level of healing or achieve a certain level of success or prove yourself worthy through suffering or sacrifice. The love that is coming for you is a gift. It is grace. It is heaven saying, "This is who I made you for, and this is who I made for you." And the time for the two of you to finally live that truth out loud has arrived. Receive it as the gift it is, not with guilt, not with suspicion, not with the voice in the back of your mind saying it is too good to last. Receive it with open hands and a grateful heart, because gratitude is the frequency on which heaven's blessings travel. And the more you can welcome what is coming with a spirit of thankfulness, the faster and more fully it will arrive. You have survived so much to get to this place. The loneliness you pushed through, the heartbreaks you healed from, the seasons when you could not see the point and kept going anyway. Every single one of those moments of endurance is part of what brought you here, and heaven honors each one. The angels who watch over you know every step of the road you have walked, and they are celebrating right now because the road is about to open into something magnificent. Something worthy of everything you went through to get here. Something that will make even the painful chapters feel like they had a purpose. Because they did. They always did. Your soulmate's secret was always going to find its way to you. That was written long before either of you had any say in the matter. Heaven made sure of it. And heaven is making sure of it still, right now, in this very moment as you read these words and feel that quiet knowing settle into your spirit like a truth that has finally come home. You are so deeply, so completely, so eternally loved. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $6, $11, $22, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.